Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about something that many of us face, yet too many of us don't want to acknowledge: divorce. It's hard, it's messy, and let me be real with you, it can feel like the end of the world. But here's the truth: life goes on. Now, I'm not here to sugarcoat things or pretend it doesn't hurt. When you've invested your time, your heart, and your soul into a relationship, when it falls apart, it can feel like you've lost a piece of yourself. But let me tell you this: that pain does not define you. You are not the sum of your relationship. You are not your divorce. You are a survivor, and survival, that's about resilience. You see, resilience is what separates those who get knocked down from those who stay down. And you will get knocked down, but you have to get back up. Life will test you, no doubt about it. But each test is an opportunity to discover the strength you never knew you had, to learn who you truly are, and to set new goals. It's a chance for growth. And you know what? Divorce, though it feels like the end, is often the beginning of something better. Change is hard, but change is necessary. It's not the end of your story, it's the start of a new chapter. Maybe you've forgotten who you are in all the years of that relationship, but now, with a blank slate, you get to rediscover yourself. What do you want? What do you need? It's time to focus on you. Faith. But here's the thing: you can't do it alone. Nobody can. So reach out, lean on your support systems, talk to your friends, your family, or a therapist. Let them help you. Don't bottle things up. Don't try to carry that weight by yourself. Find people who will help you get through the tough days, who remind you of your worth when you forget it. Divorce is an emotional earthquake. It shakes your foundation, disrupts everything you've built, and leaves you feeling scattered, lost, and broken. If you've ever gone through it or been close to someone who has, you know how real that pain is. The sadness, the anger, the regret. It feels like you've lost something vital, like a part of you has been ripped away. And in many ways, that's exactly how it can feel. The promise of it, but I want to be clear on this point: the pain is real, but it doesn't define you. You are not your pain. You are not your failed marriage. You are more than the mistakes, more than the heartache, more than the weight of the disappointment. Yes, divorce is painful. Yes, it brings a sense of loss that can feel unbearable at times. But that pain is not who you are. Let me take a moment to break that down, because this is important. When we go through something traumatic, we have a tendency to identify ourselves with the event. It's easy to let our emotions take over, to define our entire being by what happened, by what we've lost, or by what we feel in the moment. But let me tell you something: emotions are temporary. Your pain, no matter how intense it is right now, will not last forever. Defy it. It will evolve, it will fade, and it will eventually turn into something you can learn from. You are not the person you were when you were married. You're not the person you were when you experienced that heartbreak. You are a dynamic human being full of potential and possibility. You are not stuck in the past, even if it feels like it at times. You are not defined by the end of a relationship. That's just one chapter in your life, one moment in time, and it doesn't have the right to claim the rest of your story. Man, when divorce happens, it's easy to spiral into negative thinking. We start to question ourselves. What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? Those questions can be overwhelming, but I want to challenge you to shift your perspective. Instead of asking what went wrong, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of questioning your worth, ask, who am I becoming through this experience? Pain may come from a place of loss, but it can also bring with it a profound opportunity for self-discovery. There's a quote by Maya Angelou that says, You may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. That's the truth. The pain you feel after divorce might feel crushing, but it is not your identity. It is simply a moment in your journey. It may hurt, but it's also a chance for you to build a new identity, one that's not tied to anyone or anything else. In fact, this is where the healing process begins, by recognizing that the pain is a chapter, not the whole book. You are not less than because of your pain. You are stronger because of it. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment where you didn't think you could go on, they all serve as building blocks for the person you are becoming. Let me say that again. You are becoming something greater. Pain teaches us. It teaches us resilience, patience, and strength. And one thing I know for sure is that we don't truly know what we're made of until we face adversity. This is where your true character will shine through. If you can face this pain and keep moving forward, you are stronger than you know. And in time, you'll come to realize something important. You are worthy. Not because of what you've been through, not because of your past, but because you are human. Because you are capable of growth, of love, and of transformation. Don't let the end of your marriage be the end of your sense of self. You are so much more than that. So if you're sitting there right now feeling like you're drowning in that pain, know that you're not alone. And this pain you're feeling, it's not permanent. One day you will look back and see it for what it was, a moment that helped shape you, but not a moment that will define you. Keep moving forward. Keep your head up, because life is not over, my friend. Life goes on, and so do you. Resilience is the ability to bounce back, but it's more than just getting back up after something knocks you down. It's about using adversity as fuel to rise even stronger. And trust me, life will challenge you. Divorce can feel like a gut punch, especially if it wasn't your decision or if it felt like everything you believed in was suddenly torn apart. But here's the truth. Resilience is in your DNA. It's built into the human spirit. When life knocks you down, you have the power to stand back up and keep moving forward, no matter how heavy the weight. When we face difficult times, whether it's a breakup, a job loss, or a personal tragedy, we often feel like the world is closing in. It's easy to let despair take hold, but I want you to remember one thing. Resilience is not about never falling down. It's about having the strength to get back up every time. It's not about avoiding the storm, but learning to dance in the rain. And that's the beauty of it. There's a reason why we hear stories of people overcoming incredible odds. It's because resilience is something we can cultivate. It's something you can practice. Think about it. How many times in your life have you faced something that seemed impossible to get through? Maybe it was a loss, maybe it was a failure, or maybe it was a situation that felt like there was no way out. And yet, here you are. That's resilience. You survived, you learned, you grew. But resilience doesn't come automatically. It's not like one day you wake up and suddenly you're invincible. It takes effort, it takes practice, and it takes a willingness to face discomfort head on. In the face of divorce, that means acknowledging your pain, embracing the messiness of your emotions, and then saying, I will not let this define me. You decide every single day that you will keep moving forward. Here's something important to understand. You have permission to feel the hurt, but you don't have to let it control you. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to mourn the loss of what was, but don't let that mourning turn into self-pity. Don't let it turn into a belief that you can't move forward. Grief is a part of life, but resilience is how we grow beyond it. In fact, the moments that hurt the most often become the catalysts for our greatest growth. When you hit rock bottom, the only place left to go is up. You will rise. The question is not whether you will get back up, but how strong will you be when you do? The power of resilience lies in how you choose to face your adversity. Resilience isn't about brushing things off or pretending they didn't hurt. It's about acknowledging the pain and choosing to learn from it. It's about transforming that pain into power, into motivation, and into a better version of yourself. Divorce might feel like the end of the world, but it can also be a chance to rediscover who you are. It can be the moment when you find your true strength, your true voice. You see, adversity is not something to avoid, it's something to embrace. Because each time you rise from a setback, you get stronger, you get wiser, and ultimately you get closer to the person you were always meant to be. So when life knocks you down, when you feel like you can't go on, remember this: resilience isn't just about survival, it's about thriving. It's about learning how to rise every single time. It's about standing tall no matter the storm. And you will rise. You've got it in you. Don't let anyone or anything tell you otherwise. Your strength is your resilience. And that's a power that can never be taken from you. Change is often uncomfortable. In fact, it can be downright terrifying. When you've invested years into a relationship, built your life around it, and envisioned a future with that person, the idea of starting over feels like an insurmountable task. Divorce brings with it a flood of uncertainty and at times fear of what's next. But here's the thing about change: it's not the end of the road. It's the start of something new, something that holds the potential for growth, discovery, and renewal. Divorce, no matter how painful, is an invitation to embrace change. It may not seem like it at first, but it's a chance to reinvent your life, to redefine who you are, and to rebuild yourself from the inside out. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that life was better before the divorce, that you've lost something irreplaceable. But if you can shift your mindset, you'll see that divorce opens doors to possibilities you hadn't even considered before. It's important to acknowledge the difficulty of this transition. Letting go of the past can feel like you're losing a part of yourself. You have to mourn the end of a chapter, but in that mourning, there's also an opportunity to heal and to create something new. You're not going to be the same person you were before, and that's okay. Change doesn't have to be scary. It can be liberating. The beauty of it is that you now have the freedom to choose a different path, a new direction. It's the first step towards your next chapter. Think about it. Every significant change in life often starts with discomfort. It's the discomfort that forces us to grow. Think of a seed. It's small, buried in the dirt, and it seems like it's stuck. But deep within that seed is the potential to bloom into something beautiful. The soil, that's the challenge, the difficulty, and the discomfort. Without it, the seed doesn't grow. Without the struggle, there's no strength. You are the seed. And this difficult season you're going through is the soil. It's what's going to help you grow into the person you were always meant to be. Now, I understand that embracing change doesn't mean you have to forget your past, your memories, your experiences, your lessons. Those are all valuable. But your future is still unwritten. You have the power to shape it. You have the power to decide who you will become, what your life will look like moving forward. You are not bound by your past. Divorce is not a final sentence. It's an opportunity for a fresh start, a chance to explore new possibilities that you may have once thought impossible. Maybe it's an opportunity to reconnect with old passions. Maybe it's the chance to travel, explore new career paths, or focus on your health and well-being. The world is wide open for you. And while you may feel uncertain right now, understand that embracing change, though difficult, is often the catalyst for the life you've always wanted. Embracing change also means accepting that you can create a new version of yourself. You're no longer tied to the person you were when you were in the relationship. You are free to redefine who you are. It might take time, Don't rush the process, but with every small step, you are moving closer to the person you want to be. This is your chance to not just survive, but to thrive in a new season of life. And let me remind you, this is not just about surviving divorce. It's about using this experience to make your life better. It's about learning from the past, growing through the pain, and discovering your inner strength. You have the power to change your future, to turn this difficult chapter into the foundation of something even greater. So, as you face the changes that come with divorce, I want you to remember this. Change is not your enemy. It's your ally. It's the doorway to your new beginning. You don't have to know all the answers right now. You don't have to have everything figured out today. But every step you take, no matter how small, brings you closer to a new you, a stronger, wiser, more resilient version of yourself. And that, my friend, is the true beauty of embracing change. You've got this. When you're going through a divorce, it can feel like you're running on empty. Emotions are all over the place. There's pain, grief, frustration, and sometimes even relief. It's overwhelming. And in the midst of all of this, it's easy to forget about the most important person in the equation, you. Divorce doesn't just take an emotional toll. It can drain you physically, mentally, and spiritually. But here's the thing. Self-care is not a luxury. It's a necessity. If you want to heal and move forward, you have to prioritize your well-being. Self-care is the foundation of your healing. It's the first step in regaining your strength. I know it might sound cliche, but it's true. You cannot pour from an empty cup. When you're emotionally exhausted, physically drained, and mentally taxed, how can you expect to give your best to anything else? Whether it's your work, your children, or your future goals, you can't. That's why self-care is not selfish. It's a powerful act of self-preservation. It's how you put yourself back together after being shattered. The first step in self-care is acknowledging that you need time to heal. Healing doesn't happen overnight. It's a process, and it's different for everyone. You may need to take a few days off to rest. You may need weeks or months to process your emotions fully, and that's okay. There's no timeline for healing, and there's no right way to do it. But you have to give yourself the grace to go through the process, no matter how long it takes. Physical self-care is essential too. When we're in emotional pain, it's easy to neglect our physical health. We might skip meals, stay up late, or avoid exercise. But our bodies and minds are connected. When we take care of our physical health, we're also taking care of our mental and emotional health. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, eating nourishing foods, and moving your body. Even something as simple as a walk outside can clear your mind and help you feel more grounded. Your body is your temple, and during this time, it needs extra love and attention. Another powerful form of self-care is taking time for reflection and growth. Use this time to reconnect with yourself. Who are you outside of your relationship? What do you love to do? What brings you joy? What makes you feel alive? Sometimes, in the hustle of life and relationships, we lose touch with our own passions, desires, and needs. Divorce can be a wake-up call to rediscover the things that make you feel whole again. Look, maybe it's a hobby you've neglected, a dream you've put on hold, or a new skill you've always wanted to learn. This is your time to invest in you. Mental self-care is just as critical. When your mind is overwhelmed with negative thoughts, self-doubt, guilt, anger, confusion, it can be paralyzing. But remember, you are not your thoughts. You can choose to challenge and change them. Therapy or counseling is one of the best ways to work through the mental load of divorce. Speaking with a professional can give you the tools you need to process the pain, manage stress, and develop healthy coping mechanisms. Talking to someone who understands and doesn't judge can be an incredibly powerful way to start healing. Another helpful mental self-care tool is mindfulness. Practices like meditation or journaling allow you to process your emotions in a safe, productive way. When you sit with your feelings, acknowledge them, and give them space, you give yourself the permission to heal. Meditation can help you focus on the present moment, reduce stress, and calm your racing thoughts. Journaling allows you to release what's inside, reflect on your progress, and track your healing journey. Both are powerful ways to center yourself during a time of chaos. Finally, spiritual self-care is also something to consider. Whether you practice religion or simply believe in something greater than yourself, spirituality can offer a sense of purpose and peace during difficult times. Prayer, meditation, spending time in nature, or even just reflecting on your values can help you feel connected to something beyond your immediate pain. As you take the time to care for yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually, remember this: healing is not linear. You might have days where you feel like you're making progress, and then other days where you feel like you're back at square one. That's okay. Be kind to yourself. You are doing the best you can, and that's enough. Self-care is an act of self-love, and it's essential for your recovery. The more you focus on your healing, the more you allow yourself to bounce back stronger, wiser, and more whole. You don't have to have it all together right now. Give yourself permission to take your time, but make self-care a priority. You deserve it. You are worth it. When you go through a divorce, it can feel like the world is closing in. The emotional weight of the situation can make you want to isolate yourself, retreat from the people who care about you, and try to navigate this difficult time alone. But here's the truth: you don't have to do this by yourself. The importance of support systems during and after divorce cannot be overstated. In fact, it can make all the difference in how quickly and effectively you heal. There's a saying that it takes a village, and when it comes to divorce, that village becomes even more important. You may not realize it at first, but you need people who can help guide you, support you, and just be there when you feel lost. Divorce is one of the most emotionally taxing events a person can go through, and having the right people around you will help you navigate the storm. Is it a nightmare to tell you? First, let's talk about family. Your immediate family, whether they're parents, siblings, or extended relatives, can be a source of comfort and understanding. They've known you for a long time, and even though they might not have the exact answers you're looking for, their love and support can give you strength. Lean on them for emotional support, for someone to talk to, or simply for a safe space to rest and recharge. It's important to remember that you don't have to go through this alone, even if it feels like you're losing everything else. Your family can provide the grounding and sense of belonging you need during a difficult time. But support isn't just about seeking comfort. It's also about honest, constructive feedback. Sometimes you need people who will tell you the hard truth, who will push you to take responsibility, and who will hold you accountable as you heal. This is where friends can play a huge role. The right friends can offer not just sympathy, but also perspective. They can help you see things from different angles, offer practical advice, and provide a sense of humor when things get too heavy. The people who know you best, your close friends, are the ones who can help you see your situation for what it is: a temporary setback, not the end of the world. In addition to family and friends, therapy and counseling can be invaluable during a divorce. Having a trained professional by your side can help you process your emotions in a safe, non-judgmental environment. A therapist can help you work through feelings of anger, betrayal, sadness, and even guilt, and provide you with tools to cope with these emotions in healthy ways. Therapy offers a neutral space where you can voice your concerns, explore your thoughts, and gain clarity as you move forward in your healing journey. It's okay to ask for help, and a therapist can help you find the answers within yourself. Support systems aren't just about receiving help. They're also about giving back. Being open to receiving help requires vulnerability. And sometimes that's one of the hardest parts of healing. But there is strength in vulnerability. When you allow yourself to lean on others, you open yourself up to healing. And when you open yourself to healing, you open yourself up to the support of others. The key is recognizing that support is not one-sided. You don't have to give it all at once or even immediately, but by being open to the people around you, you create a space where healing can happen collectively. It's also essential to remember that support systems are fluid. Some people may be part of your life temporarily, while others may play a role in your healing process for a longer time. It's okay to let go of relationships that are no longer serving you and to seek out new ones that bring positive energy and encouragement. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who are aligned with your healing process, and who will help you grow into the person you're meant to be. And let's not forget about online communities or support groups. Divorce can sometimes feel isolating, especially if your immediate circle doesn't understand what you're going through. But there are countless support groups, both in person and online, where people in similar situations come together to share their stories, give advice, and just be there for one another. It's empowering to know that you are not alone in your experience, and connecting with others who are navigating similar struggles can help you realize that there is life after divorce, and it can be fulfilling, bright, and hopeful. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed or alone in your journey, I want you to remember this. You are worthy of support. Don't hesitate to reach out to those around you, whether they're family, friends, a therapist, or an online community. The more you open up and allow others to walk beside you, the stronger you'll become. No one can carry the weight of divorce alone, and you don't have to. Lean into your support system. They are there to lift you up, and they are an essential part of your healing process. Divorce, as challenging as it is, can also be a powerful turning point. It's a moment that forces you to reevaluate your life, your values, and your future. You may feel disempowered, defeated, and unsure of what comes next. But here's the reality. Divorce does not define your worth. It does not strip away your power. In fact, it can be the very thing that helps you reclaim the strength and control you thought you'd lost. The process of moving forward after divorce starts with understanding that you still hold the reins to your life. No matter how much you feel like things have slipped through your fingers, no matter how much you may feel like you've lost, you have the ability to choose what happens next. You get to decide who you become, what you learn, and how you live your life from this point forward. Reclaiming your power begins with embracing the truth that your past does not have to dictate your future. Divorce might feel like an ending, but it's also a new beginning. It's an opportunity to leave behind the things that no longer serve you and start fresh. But in order to move forward, you need to accept the fact that you are the author of your story and you get to write the next pages. You might be asking, how do I reclaim my power when everything feels like it's falling apart? Start by taking small steps toward independence. This doesn't mean you have to do everything on your own, but it's about rediscovering your own identity outside of the relationship. Take time to reflect on what you love, what drives you, and what makes you feel fulfilled. Do the things that make you feel strong and capable. Reconnect with the parts of yourself that were perhaps overshadowed or neglected during your marriage. This could be focusing on your career, taking up a new hobby, or building a new routine that empowers you. Taking ownership of your life also means embracing accountability. Divorce may have been caused by a variety of factors, and it's important to process your feelings and give yourself the space to grieve. But at the same time, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? What part did I play in the relationship, and how can I grow from that? Reclaiming your power comes from being able to reflect on the past with honesty, but without letting it control you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are a survivor. Next, you must also let go of the narrative that this is the end. You might feel like life is over, like you'll never find happiness or love again, but that's simply not true. Life goes on. There are opportunities waiting for you, and sometimes it takes something as life-altering as divorce to push you to see those opportunities. The best days of your life could be ahead of you, but first you need to step into them. Trust that what lies ahead is just as beautiful and fulfilling as what you left behind. One key part of reclaiming your power is also forgiving yourself. Divorce often comes with a lot of self-blame, guilt, and feelings of failure. You might think, if I had done this differently, maybe it wouldn't have ended. But that kind of thinking keeps you stuck in the past. You need to release the guilt and forgive yourself for what you couldn't control. Sometimes two people just grow in different directions, and that's not anyone's fault. Accepting that the relationship didn't work doesn't mean you failed. It just means you've learned and grown. Give yourself permission to move forward without dragging the weight of regret. Reclaiming your power also means acknowledging your strength. You've survived something difficult, and that alone shows your resilience. Take pride in how far you've come. Even if it doesn't feel like it now, you are stronger than you think. And the more you affirm this, the more you'll start to believe it. Your power is in your resilience. It's in the fact that you're still standing, still fighting, and still moving forward. That's something to be proud of. Lastly, remember that you are worthy of happiness. Divorce does not make you less deserving of love, success, or fulfillment. You may have doubts or fears about what lies ahead, but you are deserving of peace, joy, and a future filled with possibilities. Claim your right to happiness and take deliberate steps toward that. Reclaim your confidence. Reclaim your joy. Reclaim your peace of mind. You have the power to build a life that's even better than the one you thought you had before. Divorce might have closed one chapter, but the story isn't over. Your power lies in your ability to start over, to choose happiness, and to create a future that reflects your true worth. So, I want to leave you with this. Take control of your life and move forward with confidence. You're not defined by your past. You're not defined by what you've been through. You are defined by what you choose to become. And whatever that is, I know you've got everything it takes to rise up and make it happen. Your power is in your hands. Own it. As we wrap up this conversation on life after divorce, I want to leave you with one final thought. This is not the end of your story. It's just the beginning. Divorce is undeniably painful, and it may feel like you've lost a part of yourself, but in reality, you are being given a unique opportunity to rebuild, rediscover, and renew. You have the power to write your own future, one where you can thrive, grow, and find new meaning in every experience. You are stronger than you think, and every challenge you've faced has already proven your resilience. No matter how daunting the road ahead may seem, remember that you are not walking it alone. Lean on your support systems, prioritize your self-care, embrace the changes that lie ahead, and most importantly, believe in your ability to reclaim your power. It's not going to be easy. There will be setbacks, days when you feel lost or defeated, but each step you take brings you closer to a version of yourself that is stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled. Divorce does not define you, but how you choose to rise from it absolutely does. The future is still yours to shape, and I know that with every ounce of strength, courage, and determination inside of you, you will create a life that exceeds anything you thought was possible. So, as you stand at the crossroads of this new chapter, I encourage you to move forward with hope in your heart and confidence in your soul. The best is yet to come, and it's waiting for you. Embrace it, own it, and trust that the journey will lead you to something beautiful and unexpected. You've got this. Keep moving forward.